Okie dokie, and we meet once again. This is video number 10 of our Move Smart Contract Language tutorial. We are finally done with the basics tutorial series. All the information that we obtained from those videos, and I'm going to be writing a contract to calculate the price of a token against another token based on the liquidity pool supply. And it's also going to give us the token price when we do the exchange and after. So then we can see the difference, the price swing. Once that token has been bought, we should be able to see the price increase when we exchange against the token on the pool. Let's not waste any more time and let's get straight to it. We build sample 8 move, and we are going to initiate that module net to dev ADDR, and we'll call this sample 8. Okay, and so it begins. Okay, let's talk about the liquidity pool. So we have to start by defining the math. Okay, so we are building that formula, and there's a couple of items that we have to calculate in order for us to obtain those values. Let's say liquidity pool. We're going to have 2 tokens, right? By the way, let me close this. Okay, let's continue. So we're going to have 2 tokens. The first token is going to be the liquidity token, and the second token is going to be the token that we want to buy or we want to swap for. Okay, usually with a liquidity pool, we have a stable coin and then we have utility token that we buy, trade, or swap against. Let's assume that this will be USDT, and I'm going to say I'm going to have 3,201. Let's put a random number there. Okay, this will be USDT. And now I have a second coin. Let's say I am going to sell my N to the R, the net to dev rewards token. It's a token that I use as a demo on this channel. This is not a real token. Let's assume there's 312 tokens in that pool. Right out of the bat, with those 2 values, I can determine what the price of each N to the R is going to be, because we have a USDT as the second token in that liquidity pool. We should be able to obtain how much is each N to the R. Okay, first, let's do the following. Let's assume that someone wants to swap 495 USDT tokens for N to the R. So we have to determine how much N to the R am I going to be receiving for that 495 USDT. We are going to write up our formulas, and we are expecting to charge a 5% transaction fee per swap interaction. Okay, so I'm going to say a formula with 5% fee. Okay, beautiful. The first value that I'm going to determine is going to be the amount of tokens that I'm going to be swapping from to obtain the N to the R. So in this case, it's going to be the 495 USDT against the 5%. So I have to determine how much from this amount am I going to be charging as the fee, because we're going to charge the fee in the native token, or the token that I'm going to be swapping from. Okay, which means the following. Value 1, that's the first value that we have to obtain. We are going to apply a 5% fee per swap. Okay, and the formula is as follows. Okay, fee is going to be 495 times 5, right? This will be the 5%, but we have to convert this to basis points. Why? Because in Move, we don't have decimals, and we need to make sure that we obtain an equivalent to the percentage in basis points. And this will be divided by 1,000 basis points, which will give me that 5%. Okay, let's solve this with the calculator. 495 tokens times 5 divided by 1,000 basis points. That gives me 2. Now the second value, value 2, is going to be, we have to multiply both USDT and the N to the R supply. We're going to mix that supply, and that value is going to be USDT, right, against the N to the R multiplied to N to the R supply, and this should give us, let's do the math. We have 3201 times 312. We have 998,712. 998,712. Okay, awesome. Now value number 3 is going to be the following. We need to determine the new supply of USDT after we swap, which means that it's going to increase because I am going to be transferring to the pool 495 of my own tokens to do this transaction after the swap. And how do I determine that amount? New USDT, let's say that this is the new balance. It's going to be current USDT balance in the pool. I should say coin 1. By the way, I'm going to label this to be coin 1. This is also coin 1, which is the pointer to this pool, and then coin 2, right? Now we have coin 1 here plus my additional USDT that I just sent into that pool that I just swapped. Okay, so now this will be the new supply in that pool. Okay, let's do the math. Now we are going to say 3,201 plus 495. That gives us 3,696. 3,696. Cool. Awesome. Another value. We are going to now determine the new supply. So how much tokens are we left with on the end to the R? We need to pay the user or swap or give the end to the R in exchange during the swap. So that means that I have to say, now we're going to say new end to the R. Check this out. It's going to be the value. We multiplied both. And this is a way for us to find a precise integer that we should be obtaining based on the supply that we have, okay? So I'm gonna say mixed supply, which is whatever we obtain here, divided, but we have to first calculate the fee against the new USDT, okay? So we're gonna say new USDT minus the fee, okay? Which in this case is going to be what? It's going to be this amount, but then we first have to solve this, then we can divide it against this, okay? With USDT minus fee, we have to now determine this, which will be 3,696. So let's do that. 3,696 minus 2, which is the fee, 3,694. Now I have to divide, so I'm gonna make sure that I copy this value, but because now I have to divide 998,712 divided by the amount that I obtained, and it gave us 270, okay? That is going to be left after I pay that transaction. And now it's very easy to determine how many tokens do I have to send to the user who did the swap. It's very simple. Determine the amount of end to the Rs to transfer to user, okay? Very simple. All I have to do is subtract the supply against what changed, right? And that should give me the amount that I'm sending. So it's going to be transfer, it's going to be now coin 2, which is the value of the supply minus the new end to the R supply, right? Which is this one right here. That gives us, let's do the math. So that's gonna be 312 minus 270. Boom. We are left to send the user 42, okay? So the user has swapped 495 USDT to receive 42 N to the Rs, okay? So let's build the function and let's pass the test to obtain those values to see if we're close with our math. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do this below so that we can work on the top. Let's start. I am going to define the two supplies. We're going to build two constants that will have those values. Again, this is not a real production move smart contract because those values have to be stored in the blockchain. They're not going to be constant, right? But we're just going to mock this up, okay? And we're going to say pool 1, right? And we are going to now define the token symbol N to the R. So let's say this is N to the R and it's going to be U64 and the amount of tokens is exactly what we have here, 312, okay? We got the first one. Now let's do the second one. Constant pool 164 and this will be 3201. Awesome. Okay, so we got both pools with values inside those pools. Now I'm going to build that function. Let's build that function to get those values calculated, okay? So we're gonna say function, and that function name is going to be calculate swap, okay? And boom. And we wanna pass arguments, right? We are going to pass coin 1. This will be the supply of coin 1. And this will also be U64, coin 2, U64. And finally, we are going to pass the amount that the user is transferring. And we are going to assume that the user is always going to transfer USDT because it wants to buy this token, okay? So I'm going to say coin 1 amount, okay? And this will be U64. And we want to make sure that we return how much tokens is the user going to receive, right? So this will be U64, that will be the return. Okay, let's start writing up. First thing I want to do an assert, right? All this is part of our basics tutorial. And I want to make sure that the supply of both tokens is not 0, as well as the amount that the user is transferring to me, it's not 0. Okay, so which means that I have to do coin 1. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to do it with this to make it quicker. We know that the supply is hard-coded, so it's not a problem. So I'm going to say amount has to be higher than 0. Else, we're going to throw an error code. And speaking of error codes, we can actually take advantage of doing an error code here. We're going to say constant error not enough, okay? And this will be U64, and we are going to label this to be error code number 0. And I can pass E not enough, okay? Beautiful. Now, we are going to build that first formula right here, the fee formula, as we know it. Okay, let's do that. The first formula is going to be let fee equals amount that the user is going to transfer. So this will be the first value, right? And this will be multiplied by the percentage. So let's place that number 5 here. That will be the fee. And let's do a comment here. This applies a 5% fee to each swap transaction. Beautiful. Now we're going to say coin1 underscore amount times 5. Divide this by basis points, which is 1000. This should give me the fee value. Beautiful. Next, mix. So we're going to multiply those two values, both supplies. So we're going to say mix supply, and it's going to be equals to what? It's going to be equals to coin1 and multiplied by coin2. So we're multiplying an operation, arithmetic operator. And we can say that this is U64, okay? Next, I am going to build supply. I need to determine the amount of USDT, right? The amount of USDT, and you can see it right here. So this will be coin1 plus 495, okay? Which is the amount that we are going to be transferring. But then the amount is this value right here. So we're going to say let new USDT, right? And this will be coin1 plus coin1 amount. This is the transferred amount. Let's do the new N to the R supply. So now we have to determine how much N to the R tokens are going to be left. So we're going to say it after the event, and this will be new N to the R, and this will be now this. We're going to be grabbing, you can see it right here. It's going to mix. So we're going to obtain this value right here. Then we have to divide this, but then first we have to solve this. New USDT minus fee, then divided by mix supply, which means the following. I have to now use this, right? And I'll have to solve this against the new USDT minus fee. This should give me that new balance right here. And last, it's going to be the amount of tokens that I will be transferring to the user, okay? So this will be receive coin2, this will be the supply here in this pool, minus the new N to the R. And this should give me the amount of tokens that I should be paying that user, okay? And finally, we're just gonna return receive. So this will give me that value, all right? Awesome. So yeah, that looks good. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna do a test. Boom, boom, test. And you can see that we have used all the operators. We did a error handling, we did constant. We have done pretty much a lot of what we cover on this video series. Now I'm going to do a test. I have to import the print function, okay? So I gotta do test only, and I gotta do use std debug, and then print. Now I'm gonna do the actual test function, test, and we're just gonna say function test function let result, and we are going to now grab the value that we obtained when we do the calculate swap. We are going to say, we also have to pass the amount. So let's pass let swap amount, right? This will be the amount that I will be transferring. This will be the USDT amount to transfer, to swap. And now I have to provide those 3 arguments, which will be the supplies and the amount. So I'm going to pass the pool 1 value, which is this one right here, coin1. This will be USDT. And then this will be from token to token. This will be the N to the R, right? And finally, I have to pass the swap amount, which is the coin1 amount, okay? And boom. Now, after I run this, I'm going to print, and we should see what happens. Result, bum, done. Okay, let's see how that goes. I'm gonna bring this over here. Beautiful. And we are good here. Let's test. Now we're gonna say APTOS move test. See what we get. Probably I forgot to close an expression. Let me take a look at that. Here we go. So this one right here. Okay, that should do it. Let's go back, clear, try it again. Boom! What value do we have? 42. Awesome. Okay, we're not done yet. Now, let's do the following. Let's add 2 more pools, okay? We're going to add 2 more pools, and we're going to have an if and else. We're going to have another function that is going to allow me to pass the symbol. We have to provide the symbol and the amount of tokens that I will be exchanging. This will be the USDT amount, and we should obtain different pool values, okay? So let's do that. Now that I have this here, I will provide now 2 additional pools. So we're going to add 2 more pools. This will be pool 2, pool 3. So this will be 2. This will be 2, and this will be pool 3, okay? And now this, let's say this is the APTOS token, APT, okay? So we're just gonna make this up. And then this one, let's just do wrap ETH, okay? Because this is the APTOS blockchain, so it's gonna be a wrapped Ether. And let's change those values. The first value, let's put something else. Let's say I have in that pool, I have 21,500, okay? APTOS tokens, and I am providing for liquidity 124,700. So 124,700 USDT against 21,500. Now let's do it with ETH. Let's put a different value. This will be 13, let's say 10. Okay, so we have a total amount of 1,310 ETH, wrapped ETH in this liquidity pool. And we have 2 million, because remember, if you divide this against this should give you the token price, okay? So we're gonna say 2,750,000, okay? So this will be the USDT in this pool against WETH, so people can buy and swap those tokens, all right? And we are also going to add a string value, okay, for the token. So we want to show which token it's being swapped to when we do the test. So I'm going to say into our name, because this is the first one. And we have to define this to be vector, because in the global scope, when we define a constant, it cannot be a string. It only accepts integers, addresses, Boolean, and vector. So vector, we can still do vector. So we can do vector U8, right? And now we are going to define this byte string. So I'm going to say the byte value of n to the r and to the rewards. So this is the name of the token, okay? Which means now I am going to also do it for the other tokens, right? So now this will be APT name. This will be just the symbol, APT, and then finally USDT against WETH. So this will be ETH, okay? And this will be WETH, right? Awesome. And now that I'm working with this, I need to convert this to UTF-8, right? Which means now I need to import use std string, and I have to say UTF-8, okay? Beautiful. And let's do another thing. Let's add the following, because I want to make sure that I pass one value and that determines which token am I going to be working with, which means that I'm going to do the following constant. I'm going to say n to the r. We want to pass an ID for the token, U64, and this will be 1. Okay, this will be token number 1 or pool token 1, constant APT. This will be U64. This will be number 2. And finally, constant ETH. Okay, U64. And this will be number 3. Awesome. All right. Now, what I want to do is the following. I want to do a function that I can just pass this constant, and it will give to the calculate swap function the token supply. It's going to read everything from the information stored in constant and do the whole math without me having to pass those values manually. Okay, so which means that I have to do that function. I'm going to call this function right here, function get supply. Let's do that. And this will return 3 things. It's going to return this supply, and the string value of n to the r of the name. Okay, so then we can display this in the console, which means if I'm going to be returning those values, I have to say that the first value is going to be a U64, the second value is type U64, and finally the third value is going to be a vector U8. Okay, and there you go. Okay, so now let's build that function, and the only thing that I have to make sure that I pass is the coin symbol. Okay, this will be provided by me, so then we can define with if and else which pool am I going to provide the values back into this calculate swap. Okay, check this out. So I'm going to say the following: if coin supply symbol, right, is equal to what? To the first value, n to the r. So let's do n to the r. Then I want you to return what am I going to provide back? I am going to provide those 2 supply values and the string. Okay, so we're going to say now it's going to be this first value, right, USDT, then this value, n to the r, and finally this value. Else, if that's not the symbol that was selected, then I want you to send to confirm if the next symbol matches, which is going to be APT. So if the symbol that I pass is not n to the r, we want to check if it's APT then. If it is, then I want you to return now the APT pool and pool to USDT, pool to APT, and the string value, APT name, okay? And finally, oh, by the way, I need to put an else if here. And finally, else, just, return me ETH, because at that point, it's the only supply that I have available. It's the only additional supply that we have defined. Okay, so this will be the ETH, and I have to change this to be the ETH to match the constant names. And that looks good. Okay, that looks great. Now I got to make sure that I will be replacing the values that I provide manually with this. Okay, so what I got to go here now is the following. I am going to provide, you see when I call calculate swap, I am providing those values manually. I have to change that approach. Now I am going to say let, and we are working with a tuple return because now we are going to obtain 3 different returns. So I'm going to label the first one coin 1, right? This will be the USDT balance in the pool, coin 2, and the string. So this will be the name of the token, okay? And this will be equals to what? To get supply, okay? Boom, and that's it. The only thing that I have to pass is the ID. So if I want to work with N to the R, right? So let's test with this one, which we already know the value, make sure that it works, and then we can move forward and test the other ones. N to the R, right? Now I just need to make sure that I provide this information here. So I'm gonna say coin 1, I'm gonna say now coin 2, and the swap amount is going to remain the same. But now I also want to do the following. I want to show which token am I going to be swapping for. Okay, so I'm going to say print, right? And I'm going to define this. Let's do this. Let's do print, and it's going to be UTF-8, and it's going to be B. And we are going to type swap USDT 4. And boom, this will be the first value that we will display in the console when we do the test. And now we are going to print that name that we decided to use here because it's going to be returned here, okay? We are going to now convert that to UTF-8. And remember what we learned, if we use UTF-8, we can convert a byte string to integer, to string literal, okay? So we're gonna say now here, name, okay? This will be the return, okay? And that should be it, okay? Let's give it a shot. Let's see if we're lucky. So let me go back, clear, boom, test. And we definitely got it, but it looks like UTF-8 is not being used here. Probably is because I am not actually using it here, which is fine. We're gonna remove it, then I don't need it. I'm gonna save it, I'm gonna try it again because I don't want to see warnings. I want to see everything clean. Oh, oops, I know why. So I removed it there, but the test still requires that. So I'm gonna also provide it to the test, right? So I'm gonna say std, I'm gonna say string, and then we are defining UTF-8, right? Beautiful. And give it a shot one more time. Boom, 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 boom. Beautiful. So we swapped USDT for N to the rewards, and we obtained 42 tokens in the swap, okay? Beautiful. Now let's test with another token. So I'm going to just change this real quick here. I want to say APT, right? And then we are going to be swapping. Let's just leave it in 495 and see how much do we get. I'm gonna go back. Boom. So we swapped USDT for APT and we obtained 85 tokens. Beautiful. And one more thing, it's going to be ETH. But I think for ETH, I have to go higher, right? Because we are not handling precise math. I'm going to say ETH, right? And let's just raise this a bit. So let's say 3,000, right? So we're going to provide 3,000. Let's see how much ETH do we get. So we're going to say, boom. Unbound constant to ETH. Let's see why. Let's take a look here. Oh, it's because it's not W8, it's ETH. So let me save it, go back, boom. Okay, we obtained 2 ETH. Okay, so that means the amount of USDT collateral and the math against what I provided, we obtained 2 ETH. Okay, now let's do one last thing and we should be done. Let's provide the token price as well. So I have to do another formula, and this one is going to be very quick. So we're just going to say token price, right? And we just have to pass coin 1. We want to provide the value before the swap and after the swap, okay? So we're going to say U64, coin 2, U64, all right? And we will return a U64 as well. Now, based on that amount, I want to make sure that I am not going to receive a value that is 0. I'm going to say coin 1 has to be higher than 0, else error not enough. Same with coin 2. So I'm going to do another assert. This will be coin 2. Same, has to be higher than 0. And finally, very simple, return. What are we going to return? The coin 1 divided by coin 2. This will be the supply of coin 1 divided by supply of coin 2. This should give you the token price based on USDT, okay? Based on that collateral. So coin 1 divided by coin 2 supply, then that should give me the token price. And we are going to insert that right before and after. Okay, so we are going to say here, let price before, right, before the swap, and this will be equals to token price, and we have to pass those values, coin 1, coin 2, okay? And I'm going to add another banner here. I'm going to say print, we're going to print token price before swap, and we are going to print that output. So we're going to say boom. I'm going to say price before, right? That should give me the token price before. And now I am going to do the same thing after I do the swap. So we want to know if the price increased, which should have been increased because now there's less token supply against USDT. So token price after swap. Okay, we're going to say price after, but this is going to be slightly different. Okay, now I have to determine the swap amount. So I have to provide the swap amount. Check this out. So I have to tell coin one after we do the swap. So how much supply of coin one do we have? It will be coin one plus the swap amount, right? This will be the USDT that we are depositing into that supply, right? Next, I am going to determine also how much tokens do we have in supply two, and this will apply to any of the pools, right? Coin two after, and we are defining coin two minus what? Minus result. This will be the token that we paid the user who swapped. Result, right? That should give me the amount of tokens left in that supply. And then now I can determine the price after, right? So price after, and now I can pass those new values, coin one after and coin two after, right? And we're going to say here, price after. Beautiful. Okay, so now let's do the following. Let's change this to be n to the r. Okay, so we're gonna try with n to the r first, and we have only 3,000 USDT. So let's lower this amount. Let's just use 512, right? So we are going to swap 512 USDT against this n to the r token, and we should obtain those values. So let's see what we get. Oops. Okay, so this is on me. So I don't need to do this. I am just returning this value as U64. Boom. Let's see what we get. Boom. We have something. Okay, so let's take a look here. So we have swapped USDT for n to the rewards. The token price before the swap was 10 USDT per each to the rewards. We sent or we transferred to that user 43 n to the rewards. And now the token price after we did that swap and we obtained more liquidity, it has increased to 13 USDT. So it has increased 3 USDT based on that transaction, which is great. Now let's do another swap and we will be done with this one. So now we will say APT. So let's do APT and let's just provide 2,340 USDT and see how many APTs do we get in the price. Okay, so now let's do this. Give it a shot again. Boom. What do we see here? We see the following. The price of the APT token before we swapped was 5 USDT. We obtained 395 APT tokens. And now the token price after we did the swap, which now injected more USDT onto that liquidity pool, it's 6. So increase 1 USDT. That is beautiful. That's it. Alrighty, we have finished the entire basics tutorial series. Now we are moving into the advanced Move smart contract language tutorial series. I hope that you enjoyed this basics tutorial. Hey, and now you know a little bit more of Move, and now you should be able to write this kind of logic and build your own modules. Practice is perfection. You have to practice, okay? But don't stop there. See you on the advanced Move smart contract language tutorial series. Let's do it.